fellow Singaporeans, residents of Punggol East. I address you today with certain issues that the PAP have been campaigning on. Deputy Prime Minister Teo Chee Hean, together with Mr. Teo Ser Luck, mentioned that Dr. Koh Poh Koon is the best candidate to serve Punggol East. But according to Dr. Koh Poh Koon, everyone has a car in Singapore. Does everyone has a car? Each and every one of you is here. Everyone has a car. You see, the COE prices are so high, how to afford a car? The reason being, Dr. Koh Poh Koon is out of touch with the ground. The PAP chose a candidate like him, maybe the only thing he knows is everyone that he knows has a car, but not every Singaporean has a car. He doesn't seem to know that. Furthermore, when the seat of Hougang, with the dismissal of Mr. Yaw Shin Leong, the Workers' Party MP for Hougang, came about, PAP were very quick to jump into the picture and mention, Workers' Party has let Hougang residents down. However, this time, when Mr. Michael Palmer resigned as Speaker of Parliament, as well as MP of Punggol East, the damage is much higher. You know why? Mr. Yaw Shin Leong was just an MP for Hougang. However, Mr. Michael Palmer was not just an MP for Punggol East. He was also Speaker of Parliament. This way, the PAP not only let Punggol East down, they have let Parliament down. They have let the whole Singapore down. The PAP can criticize the Workers' Party for choosing a wrong candidate. However, how about the PAP? This is like the pot calling the kettle black. Now, I touch on the topic of Punggol East. We have received a lot of feedback from the residents on the ground. Couple of things. Lack of coffee shops. Singapore that has got so much of coffee shop, but this constituency there's no coffee shop. Then surprisingly, you hear the PM talking about hawker center. May I ask the PAP and the PM, is the hawker center plan at least one hawker center in this constituency? Is there such a plan? I'll next touch on the issue of overcrowding. Overcrowding in MRTs, LRTs. The reason? Lack of planning on the PAP's part with regards to transportation. Lack of planning when it came to housing. They just suka allow people in. They want to see growth, let more foreigners in. More growth, another 100,000 foreigners in. Till we have no living spaces. We are packed in the transport. Our buses and MRTs are sardine cans during peak hours. And yet, Dr. Koh Poh Koon, everyone owns a car. Now, tactically voting, let's come to that. Everyone would mention, vote for the front runner in order to keep another party out. I would mention, who is the front runner right now? Look at all the four candidates. Mr. Kenneth J. Ratnam, without a doubt, is the best candidate of these four. And I'm not talking in terms of his academic credentials or in terms of his career in the financial sector. That speaks beyond itself. It speaks for itself. I don't have to speak about that. I am talking to him. I'm talking about him as a person, as a character. That is something no academic credentials can achieve. As a character, as a person, he is the best out of these four. Why? The PAP, your ex-MP, Mr. Michael Palmer, made grand promises. The Workers' Party candidate who contested here in the last election made promises. But what happened in the last 18 months? Were either of them around? Don't even have to ask this question. One side speaks for itself. Rivervale Plaza. It speaks for itself whether they were around or they were not around when these were happening. Furthermore, why you should vote for Mr. Kenneth Jeyaretnam is because he has compassion for the people. You can put it this way. He was living a very successful life, a life of comfort, but he came back here. He came back for all of us to continue the fight, to build up a viable opposition presence in this political struggle that we are all going through. Now, I hit out on what the Deputy Prime Minister mentioned as well as what they have been doing. They mentioned, Dr. Koh Po Kun mentioned, I am my own man. However, yesterday on the ground, who was campaigning for him? He had one minister, he had Mr. Teo Ser Luck, as well as neighboring MPs, the Speaker of Parliament. Everyone come and campaign for him. If he is his own man, why can't he campaign for himself? Now, hitting out on Mr. Lau Tia Kiang and the Workers' Party. In 1991, Mr. Lau Tia Kiang was virtually an unknown. Who helped him win a seat in Hougang? We all know it was Mr. JBJ. Further to that, when he was freshly elected as an MP for Hougang, who was it who helped him settle his town council software? It was the SDP in the form of Mr. Chiam Si Tong, who had 3 opposition MPs at that point of time after the 1991 general elections. Now, Mr. Lau Tia Kiang comes out and tells you, Workers' Party will walk alone. This is not what Singaporeans want. In the last 50 years, we have seen in the form of PAP, a party that walked all over you. This is not what we want. The Workers' Party, Mr. Lau Tia Kiang now is telling you that the Workers' Party will walk alone. This is not what we want. The Reform Party is a party that will walk together with you. That is what Singapore needs at this point of time. We need people to walk hand in hand. How will we be there for you? It takes 2 hands to clap. We will be one hand, and we need you to be the other hand to clap for us. How? Vote us in. Vote Mr. Kenneth Jeyaretnam in this by-election. Without doubt, based on academic credentials, personality, character, he is the best among all 4. The PAP can feel someone who is relatively new. They feel a doctor. I wonder how long has he been with the PAP. How long has he been with the PAP is one question I would like to raise. Secondly, the PAP calls this constituency Punggol East. Is this even in Punggol in the first place? No, they just suka call whatever they like. They normally like to confuse the voters. This time, they have confused themselves by sending a son of Punggol to contest in Sengkang. They like to always confuse everyone else, but this time it backfired. They confused themselves. They sent a son of Punggol to contest in Punggol East, not even part of Punggol. As I mentioned in my earlier rally speech, a more appropriate name for this constituency is either Sengkang East or Rivervale. Now, the sad story of our Straits Times as well as mainstream media, the newspaper, they like to always paint a lot of pictures. This is why we need independent press, first world press. And we are not promising first world parliament and 18 months later, not even 1% towards first world parliament. We are not doing that. What we are doing is we are promising you a brighter future. Look at our manifesto. Look at our logo. It's the sun. The sun rises every day, providing us warmth, providing us light, providing the world energy. This is what we need at this juncture where Singapore is heading. The Workers' Party has mentioned that they did not want to talk to all opposition. Imagine, this is already a sign of non-consultativeness, similar to what the PAP are already practicing. When are they consultative, the PAP? During election time. What we can promise is when the PAP hands out goodies, which I've questioned this before, once in 5 years, every time close to general elections, got GST package, GSS package, all sorts of package given to you using state resources. Why can't they do this every year? Regardless or not have election. Because it shows that there is surpluses in our budget. The money rightfully belongs back to the people. Regardless or not, if there is elections, there must be payouts. Why not this way? This is true first world government. We must be heading the way of true first world nations. Look at Switzerland. That's where we must be heading. Not just talk of Swiss standard of living, but however give us Swiss cost of living, but the standard not even halfway there. The PAP has mistaken cost of living for standard of living. They've messed it all the way out. That is why we need a different party. We need a new party, new ideas, new policy. The PAP and the Workers' Party seems to be getting outdated, not up to date. By the time they get up to 2013 right now, the world would have moved over. We need real time. That's why we need an economist in parliament in the opposition ranks. The Workers' Party does not have an economist. Neither is their current election candidate an economist. The PAP has the finance minister. But who to check on the finance minister? We need an economist, a person of numbers, who is able to go through government statistics to see whether the numbers tally or not. Now, we are not a destructive force. The Reform Party is a viable force. The Reform Party is very constructive. What we can suggest is to meet the residents' needs here, to have coffee shops, so that residents don't have to travel just to eat. Travel only to Compass Point, to Rivervale Mall, Rivervale Plaza. Is to have hawker centers within this area. When we suggested this, the PAP were very quick to come up and say, Dr. Koh is the best candidate in order to deliver you all this. If Dr. Koh was the best candidate, the PAP was the best party, why haven't they delivered all this yet? Why do they only talk about all this during election time? And I can see next, the Workers' Party is also following their footsteps. Election rallies, talk. But whatever they speak in the election rally, in parliament, very little. How many percent of whatever they talk during election rally, they really speak up in parliament? How many percent? A mere fraction. We do not want MPs to only speak up at election rallies. We need MPs to speak up where it really matters, in parliament. That's why we should send Mr. Kenneth Jeyaretnam into parliament. We should send the Reform Party into parliament. Last, I would like to rebut the part where Mr. Kenneth Jeyaretnam just mentioned about the Straits Times and stuff, who painted us as a motley crew. We are a crew, but we are not motley. We are ready to work. We are ready to go on the ground and sweat. Not just sit in aircon office or sit in parliament. We are ready to come to your doorstep to serve you. We are ready to hold MPS under the block. Hot, no aircon, it is okay. We are ready to sweat. We are ready to roll up our sleeve and work. Are the PAP or the WP ready to do this? Not during election time, but every day. Here in Pongolis, one MP is serving 30,000 over people. Regardless of you vote for the MP, or even if you didn't vote for the MP, once he's elected, it's the MP's duty to serve 30,000 odd people. How? Have to be full time. There are people queuing up 2 hours for MPS. What is the reason? MP is not full time. Once a week, MPS session. This is not acceptable. MPs are already paid $14,000 and $14,500 from taxpayers. That should be their full-time job. This is what we have already pledged. Mr. Kenneth Jeyaretnam, the Reform Party have pledged you a full-time MP to not just serve you when election is near, but 365 days a year to serve you. Not just during MPS, but to make proactive house visits. Not just during election time, but also in between elections. Normal day-to-day time. So, who would you vote for 2 more days from now? Thank you. Should vote for Mr. Kenneth Jeyaretnam of the Reform Party. Remember, vote for the sunshine, sunnier days ahead. No more lightning. No more thunderstorm. No more darkness. And last but not least, make it right for Singapore. No more broken promises. Thank you all very much.